there's a silent war no one else can see. Every day, it plays out inside you. Doubts resurface, old wounds reopen, and the quiet fear of not being enough tightens its grip. Most people learn to hide this war well. They perform their duties, maintain a calm surface, and hope no one notices the chaos beneath. But hiding never heals. The Stoics understood this clearly. Whatever you refuse to confront within yourself doesn't disappear. It stays, shaping your reactions, decisions, and limits from the shadows. This isn't about pretending pain can't touch you. It's about turning toward it with honesty, allowing it to teach you, refine you, and eventually release its hold. There are no shortcuts here, no quick fixes. What you'll find instead are the principles that made ancient minds unshakable: clarity of purpose, disciplined judgment, personal responsibility, the courage to accept what cannot be changed, and the strength to govern what can. In this video, you'll learn how to build a mind that doesn't flinch at discomfort, a spirit that doesn't collapse under criticism, and a sense of self-respect that stands firm against shame and regret. You'll be guided through practical Stoic tools that turn setbacks into training, offense into awareness, and solitude into the forge where real character is shaped. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where your story matters. Share your inner battle or your greatest lesson below. Every comment you leave is a gift. Here, your voice matters. We read with care, respond with heart, and treat your journey as part of our own. This is more than a channel. It's a circle of strength. Type, "I'm ready to face my battle" in the comments. Stay on the path ahead. Your strength begins here. 1. Have a firm purpose. Imagine waking up every day and drifting through life without direction, pushed and pulled by whatever happens next. That's what living without a firm purpose feels like. You react instead of choosing. Your mood, other people, and circumstances quietly take the wheel. The Stoics understood that purpose isn't a luxury. It's your anchor and your compass. As Epictetus taught, difficulties show a person's character, and the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Purpose isn't a philosophical hobby. It's the steady force that allows you to face hardship without breaking. Finding your purpose doesn't happen by accident. It requires honest self-examination. You dig beneath borrowed ambitions and short-lived desires, asking more complex questions. What truly matters to me? What do I stand for when no one is watching? The answers are rarely comfortable. They often require letting go of old identities, adjusting your direction, and releasing goals that no longer align with your current objectives. However, with each layer removed, your inner compass becomes more precise and reliable. When your purpose is sharp, chaos loses its power over you. Challenges don't disappear, but they shrink from overwhelming threats into meaningful milestones. The storms still come, but you meet them with steadiness because you know what you're moving toward. Purpose becomes both anchor and beacon. It grounds you when pressure hits and guides you forward when your path feels uncertain. This isn't a single decision you make once and forget. It's a commitment you renew daily. You protect your purpose by showing up when it's hard, adjusting your goals as life changes, and refusing to abandon what matters when doubt appears. Your value isn't measured by never falling. It's measured by choosing, again and again, to rise in service of what matters most. Try this. Take 30 minutes this week and sit in honest silence. Ask yourself, what are the 3 core values or goals that matter more than anything else? Write them down. Each morning, read them before facing the day. Notice how this small ritual steadies your decisions, sharpens your resilience, and brings calm even on difficult days. What begins to change when your direction is guided by purpose instead of pressure? At Stoic Daily, we believe a firm purpose isn't just a North Star. 2. Guard your mind. Master your inner space. When life hits you with offense or criticism, the sting is immediate. The urge to react feels automatic. But this is precisely where Stoicism rewrites the script. Your emotions are not dictators. They are signals. Every flash of anger, every rush of hurt, is an invitation to train your inner strength. Each time you pause instead of reacting, you add another layer of discipline, forging a mind that can remain steady no matter what storms rage outside. Epictetus reminds us that while you can't control other people's opinions, you always control your response. Guarding your mind means setting clear boundaries around what you allow to enter your thoughts and emotions. Treat your mental space like your home. You wouldn't let trash pile up in your living room. So why enable toxic words, relentless negativity, or old resentments to live rent-free in your thoughts? Choose instead to surround yourself with ideas, people, and perspectives that challenge you without degrading you. In the digital age, mindfulness is no longer a luxury. It has become a necessity. It's a survival skill. Endless scrolling, gossip, and constant exposure to negative headlines quietly fill your mind with noise. Start noticing the cost. Before you absorb something, pause and ask whether it strengthens or pollutes your inner world. Even 5 minutes of intentional silence or steady breathing each day creates space between what triggers you and how you respond. In that space, your power grows. Start small and stay consistent. Each day, set one boundary. Mute a negative chat. Step away from an argument. Spend 10 minutes in silence instead of reaching for your phone. With each small victory over impulse, your trust in yourself deepens. Mindfulness isn't about suppressing emotion. It's the practice of noticing, accepting, and then making informed choices. Write down a complex emotion before acting on it. Reflect on what triggered it. Over time, you'll see that guarding your mind isn't about building walls, but about opening the right doors. Another shift follows naturally. When you guard your inner space, criticism stops feeling like an attack and begins to become valuable information. Challenges become raw material for growth rather than threats to your comfort. Gradually, your focus moves away from chasing approval or avoiding judgment and toward refining your own character. Resilience becomes your default. Peace becomes something you carry, not something you wait for. At Stoic Daily, we believe guarding your mind is the foundation of all freedom. Drop in the comments, I choose what enters my mind. What's one thought, habit, or influence you'll filter out today? 3. Handle criticism with patience and gentleness. Criticism is inevitable, but suffering over it is not. The Stoics understood that you cannot control the words of others, only your response to them. When harsh opinions come your way, the first test is restraint. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself whether this criticism contains a lesson, or whether it's simply noise passing through. Your self-worth was never meant to rise and fall with every comment. When you are anchored in your values, outside judgment loses much of its power. Epictetus said, "What frightens and dismays us is not external events themselves, but the way we think about them." This principle changes everything. Offense is not found in the words spoken, but in the meaning you assign to them. Handling criticism doesn't begin with defense. It starts with clarity. When you understand why you act and what you stand for, criticism no longer threatens your sense of self. Self-awareness becomes your foundation, keeping you steady amid shifting opinions and perspectives. From that foundation, move into reflection rather than reaction. Ask calmly, is there a seed of truth here that could help me grow? Patience means resisting the instinct to explain, justify, or strike back. Gentleness is not weakness or passivity. It is deliberate strength. It's choosing calm where others choose conflict. Sometimes that means asking for clarification. Can you explain what you meant? This simple question can transform confrontation into understanding rather than escalation. Learn to process criticism in layers. First, pause and breathe, giving the initial sting time to fade. Then reflect quietly. Does this align with my values? Is there something useful here, or is this someone else's frustration speaking? If the feedback has value, take it as fuel for growth. If it doesn't, let it pass without carrying unnecessary weight. With close relationships, choose calm dialogue when appropriate. At other times, silence and dignity may be the most potent response. Each patient's measured reply protects your peace and reinforces it at the same time. Not every judgment deserves space in your mind. Often, criticism reveals more about the critic than about you. Resilience is the ability to choose what's useful, release what isn't, and stay open to improvement without being weighed down by negativity. When you depersonalize harsh feedback, you preserve both your peace and your dignity. Each time you respond with composure, you demonstrate that patience and gentleness are shields, not surrender. Try this. The next time criticism comes your way, pause and ask yourself, is there a seed of truth I can use? Or am I letting someone else's perspective dictate my mood? Reflect before you react. Decide whether to engage calmly or let it go with intention. What would change if criticism became a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block? At Stoic Daily, we believe patience and gentleness are shields, not surrender. Drop in the comments, I choose patience over pride. When was the last time you turned criticism into growth? 4. Overcome fear and shame. Fear and shame are two of the oldest chains that hold us back, not because of the world itself, but because of the meaning we attach to what happens to us. Epictetus taught, we are the ones who assign meaning to events, thus creating fear and shame within our souls. These emotions are not random, they follow a pattern, and once you understand that pattern, you gain the ability to loosen its grip. Fear often begins quietly, as a slight worry about the unknown or what might go wrong. When left unexamined, it grows, turning imagined threats into paralyzing obstacles. The first step is to name your fear clearly and precisely. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Break it into specifics. When you analyze fear instead of avoiding it, you strip away its mystique. Often, you discover it is only a story you've been repeating. By facing fear gradually, whether it's public speaking, rejection, or failure, you begin reclaiming your agency. Each small step forward weakens its hold. Shame works differently. It usually takes root in past mistakes or in judgments that were never meant to define your entire life. It survives in secrecy and grows stronger in silence. The way forward begins with honestly facing and embracing shame with self-compassion. Ask yourself what actually happened, why it happened, and what you learned from it. Self-forgiveness does not excuse the past. It allows you to extract the lesson without carrying the weight forever. This is where healing begins. You don't have to do this alone. Breaking the cycle of fear and shame often requires sharing your experience with a trusted friend or mentor. Speaking openly dissolves isolation and restores perspective. It reminds you that struggle is a human experience, not a personal defect. When fear and shame are brought into the light, they lose much of their power to control you. In Stoic practice, another powerful tool is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of difficulties. Take a moment to anticipate potential obstacles or uncomfortable emotions before they arise, and decide in advance how you will respond to them. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. By rehearsing for adversity, you can reduce the shock and panic that often accompany it. The more prepared you are, the more resilient and steady you become in the face of pressure. This cycle, facing, analyzing, forgiving, sharing, and preparing, gradually weakens fear and shame, ultimately leading to a more resilient state of mind. Each step moves you from being shaped by your past and anxieties to shaping your own path with clarity and intention. Freedom from these emotions isn't achieved once and for all. It's practiced daily, through courage, reflection, and steady honesty. And with time, their grip fades. At Stoic Daily, we believe freedom begins by facing fear and shame with honesty and connection. Comment below. I choose courage over avoidance. What's one fear or regret you're ready to face this week? 5. Anticipate obstacles. True Stoic strength is forged not by hoping for the best, but by calmly preparing for what might go wrong. The wise do not dwell in pessimism or expect disaster. They understand that life rarely follows the script. When you practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of difficulties, you deliberately imagine potential challenges, from technical problems and unexpected questions to emotional pressure or self-doubt. By rehearsing these scenarios in advance, you reduce the shock of surprise and train yourself to meet setbacks with composure instead of panic. This practice is not about feeding negativity. It's about building a mind that can bend without breaking. The more you anticipate obstacles, the more flexibility you develop to adjust your plans without losing control. When things go off track, you are prepared to pivot rather than collapse. This is the quiet strength at the heart of Stoic philosophy, steadiness in the face of changing conditions. As you anticipate what could go wrong, don't overlook what is already right. Remind yourself of your skills, your experience, your support systems, and the challenges you've already survived. This balance keeps you grounded. You become prepared without becoming anxious, realistic, without feeling defeated. Each time you expect obstacles, you are also rehearsing patience, endurance, and long-term thinking. Setbacks stop feeling like failure and start becoming part of the path. Reflection deepens this practice. Regularly review past obstacles and ask yourself what patterns you notice, what worked, what didn't, and what can be refined next time. Learning from experience makes life less surprising and more manageable. Add mindfulness to this process. By staying present, you recognize trouble earlier and choose your response with intention rather than reflex. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your power doesn't come from controlling outcomes. It comes from mastering your inner response. When plans unravel or criticism cuts, you still retain the ability to meet the moment with calm resolve. At Stoic Daily, we believe resilience is built by preparing for the storm, not wishing it away. Drop "I expect the unexpected" in the comments. What obstacle will you anticipate and plan for this week? 6. Cultivate inner strength. Life throws storms, criticism, setbacks, unexpected loss. Yet true strength is not found in what happens to you, but in how you respond to it. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple truth sits at the core of inner strength. Your power is built not by controlling the outer world, but by steadily mastering your inner responses. Inner strength is not a single trait. It's a layered foundation, built one habit and one insight at a time. It begins with self-awareness. Notice emotions as they arise without letting them take control. Don't suppress them. Observe them. Trace their origin and ask yourself what they are truly pointing to. Each time you recognize a trigger and pause before reacting, you reinforce your inner core, like placing another stone in a fortress built for endurance. Over time, this awareness makes you less reactive and more centered, even when life feels chaotic. The next layer involves learning to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. You cannot shape other people's behavior, but you can shape your attitude, your actions, and your perspective. This shift does more than reduce stress. It returns your energy to what truly matters and anchors you when external conditions are unstable. Then comes forgiveness. Carrying resentment is like walking with stones in your backpack. It drains your strength and clouds your judgment. Forgiveness doesn't excuse what happened. It frees you from being tied to it. By releasing old weight, you make room for healing and renewed growth. Resilience is forged next, through setbacks and adversity. Every challenge becomes a training ground for patience and adaptability. Each difficult moment invites you to strengthen your character rather than retreating from discomfort. The more often you face life's fluctuations with steadiness, the more capable and flexible you become. Strength also grows through connection. Community, support, and spiritual grounding add stability you cannot build alone. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better and remind you who you are. The strongest trees don't grow in isolation. They grow in forests, supported by shared roots. Gratitude ties all of this together. Even in difficulty, focusing on what you still have shifts you from scarcity to steadiness. This change strengthens emotional resilience and clarifies perspective. True strength is not pretending you have no fears. It is facing them with honesty and compassion. When you acknowledge vulnerability, it loosens its grip and becomes fuel for growth. So when you feel triggered, pause. Breathe. Give yourself space before acting. In that space, clarity appears, control returns, and your response begins to reflect your best self, not just your first impulse. Each pause, each act of forgiveness, each moment of gratitude becomes another stone laid in the fortress of your character. At Stoic Daily, we believe inner strength is built through daily choice. One breath, one thought, one action at a time. Drop in the comments, I build resilience from within. What challenge will you use to practice inner strength this week? 7. Live according to nature. Living in accordance with nature is not only about the world outside you, it's about honoring the natural patterns within you. The Stoics believe that wisdom begins with self-knowledge, encompassing an understanding of one's strengths, values, natural rhythms, and deeper purpose. Through honest reflection, you start to see where your choices align with who you truly are, and where you may be bending under social pressure or chasing goals that don't resonate with your inner life. Accept the seasons of your life. Just as nature moves through cycles of growth, stability, decline, and renewal, so do you. When you stop resisting change or clinging to rigid expectations, transitions become less painful and more instructive. Each phase carries its own lesson. Trusting this rhythm allows you to move forward with greater ease, rather than facing constant inner resistance. To live according to nature is to practice the core Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom clarifies your judgment. Courage helps you act in uncertainty. Justice guides how you treat others. Temperance keeps your desires in balance. When your decisions are rooted in these virtues, life becomes steadier, more meaningful, and less reactive to external chaos. Remember that you are not separate from others. Living in harmony with nature means recognizing yourself as part of a larger whole. The Stoic life is inherently social. It values empathy, cooperation, and contribution. When you act with care toward your community and engage with others authentically, you fulfill your nature and help create harmony beyond yourself. Simplicity supports this way of living. In a world constantly chasing more, learn to choose less, fewer distractions, fewer unnecessary desires, or focus on what truly sustains you: relationships, growth, and well-being. In simplicity, you regain clarity and create space for quiet satisfaction rather than constant striving. Acceptance is equally essential. Acknowledge what you cannot control and practice gratitude for what is present rather than longing for what is absent. This shift from resistance to appreciation brings calm and contentment, allowing you to move with life's currents instead of exhausting yourself in the fight against them. Living in accordance with nature also entails respect for the natural world itself, caring for the environment, reducing waste, and living responsibly honors your place in the larger ecosystem. This responsibility extends beyond you, shaping the world that future generations will inherit. Mindfulness ties all of this together. Through breathing, reflection, or quiet awareness, you reconnect with both your inner and outer worlds. When your actions flow from a state of presence rather than pressure, harmony becomes natural rather than forced. At Stoic Daily, we believe true power is not found in controlling the world, but in mastering yourself while living in harmony with nature. Drop "I live by nature's wisdom" in the comments. How will you honor your true self and the world around you this week? Walk the Stoic path. As this journey through Stoic principles comes to a close, remember this clearly. True power was never about controlling the world. It has always been about mastering yourself, your mind, your choices, and the way you respond when life puts pressure on you. Each time you slow down, breathe, and act with intention, you return to your own nature and realign with the world around you. These practices don't just calm the surface of your life, they build a deep inner foundation, one that holds steady when storms arrive, when plans break, and when certainty disappears. The real reward of Stoicism is not a life without hardship. It is the ability to navigate through chaos without losing your sense of self, to carry composure, resilience, and quiet confidence no matter what life places in your path. Every moment you choose wisdom over impulse and reflection over reaction, you strengthen that foundation and reinforce the path toward lasting inner peace. Thank you for walking this path with Stoic Philosophy Daily. If this journey has been helpful to you, please continue with the recommended video below. Keep practicing, keep refining, stay steady, stay grounded, and allow your growth to unfold, one deliberate choice at a time. Your story is now part of this path. If you're seeking more, discover the full path on my channel, Stoic Philosophy Daily.